zero fucks. All fucks welcome creates stories for the conscious conversation with no fake fucks. Let's introduce Deanna.
Hey, hey, hey. How is everyone tonight? We're going to have a good show. It's going to be a monologue tonight, and it's going to be a hoot. And I'm going to just take a minute here just to invite a few friends to the show, and feel free to share it. Feel free to share this with your family as well. And I always appreciate having y'all on the show, watching and observing. And because we are a monologue tonight, so feel free to ask questions as we go. So this will be fun, and I hope you enjoy the show. So give me just a quick second here. A couple more little quickies. And again, like I said, just feel free to invite your friends and family to the show. So this is also a very exciting show for us because we have a sponsor for the show. So we're going to kick off with that. Super exciting. So thank you for tuning in tonight, friends. This episode of All Fucks Welcome is brought to you by Miracles of Joy Metaphysical Store and Spiritual Center. They have all the largest arrays of crystals, incense, herbs, books, statues, sprays, and so much more for your spiritual toolbox. It is my go-to for all of my needs in my spiritual toolbox, which is fabulous. So please go to their website at www.miraclesofjoy.org, and mention All Fucks Welcome for 10% off online. And go to their store in Louisville, Texas, and mention AFW for 10% off in the store. So it's all for merchandise only. So enjoy your shopping. It's fantastic. And if you're looking for a spiritual store for your metaphysical needs, that is definitely the store for you. It has been my spiritual place it's my spiritual home for 9 years now. So I hope you enjoy it. And don't forget to tell them All Fucks Welcome sent ya. Okay. Well, let's get this fucking show started already, shall we? This is going to be a great one. Again, if you have any questions or anything, just let us know. This is awesome. Look at these fun people watching. Thanks for tuning in. I love it. There was a time in my life that I considered myself broken. I had suffered. I'd been to the bottom of the barrel so many times, I can't even tell you. I saw the brink of death. I saw practical homelessness. I was in sheer chaos too many times that looking back was an incredible life education. I am not broken. You are not broken. Our thought talk tells us that we are this or we are that. Our belief system chooses to buy it or not. Well, you're not fucking broken, okay? You're not fucking broken. You happen to be in a chapter of your book or a piece of your puzzle, but you're not broken. This is a piece of all of it. This is what I always like to call a bit of education in our life. And it's the experience. We're experiential beings, and it's that experience that helps you be who you're meant to be today. Yes, every piece of what we go through is meant for us in our time. We have to go through it. So yes, not that I asked for it from a child's point of view, but as a soul, when we talk about soul and our lives and what we have created and what we ask for, yes, I asked for a difficult, unloved beginning. And looking back, it was the best grace I could have ever received. Because for me, I spent the first half of my life completely unloved, and I'm spending the last quarter of my life so far in unconditional love. So let's expand on this. When we tell ourselves a story, such as I am broken, our consciousness or belief system will buy that shit all day long, right? We will buy it. We believe it. We sell it to ourselves every day. Our consciousness or belief system will tell ourselves these things, and what we tell ourselves is extremely powerful. So within that brokenness, you will attract to you more of the same. Broken home, broken job, broken car, broken friendships, broken relationships, etc. You smell what I'm stepping in. So when my son was little, I would say to him, change your mind, change your stars, right? So we have an opportunity to be able to shift that mindset, however that looks. And a large part of times, our thought talk ends up being a tornado of chaos that we feel like we're stuck in and that we don't have a choice, but we do. And until we have the awareness that we have a choice, we remain broken, stuck, paralyzed, whatever direction you want to look at. So it is up to us to rewrite that story. It is up to us to look in the mirror and to stop the blame game. I very well could blame my mother for the rest of my life for the rejection, for the abuse, for her 4 ex-husbands that chose to abuse me, for my 2 ex-husbands. Remember, I'm on my 3rd and final tour. But to blame others when I can now look in the mirror and rewrite that story is called personal freedom. Absolute fucking freedom. We do not have to consciously choose to suffer any longer. We do not have to buy the thought talk that's been repeating itself over and over and over again in the back of our head. We don't have to do that anymore. We don't have to do that. Okay, so it's easy, but it's not easy. Sure, you'll say it's easy for you to say, no, it hasn't been easy for me. No, it's hard. Yes, it's hard, but it's easy. Because it's up to you. When we look at our lives, when we look at what we truly want, first of all, we can't compare ourselves. We can't compare ourselves to the Joneses down the street. We have to create what it is that we want for ourselves. Happiness truly comes from within. And so many people will chase happiness, thinking that that's really what they want, when in fact, it's an illusion created by the mind fuck in their head within the chaos of broken. So when we end up rewriting that story, we are literally changing our shoes and putting on the shoes that we need for ourselves that day. So let's take this even further. In order for me to truly look in that mirror and find my personal freedom, I had to find true compassion. True fucking compassion. Not only for myself, but for everyone that affected my life in a way that was not kind. For those that abused me, for those that were not kind to me, for those that, the road ragers, whatever that looked like, the teachers who didn't believe in me, the kids who would make fun of me, all the things. We have a choice. We have a choice. So here is what I know to be true, absolute true. Happy people are not assholes. Happy people do not hurt others intentionally. Happy people tend to be loving. I may have spoke of this before, but it never hurts to share it again. So when I was at my corporate job, I remember a cube of people talking about another coworker and gossiping about her wardrobe or what she was looking like that day. And I just remember how much that just really hurt my heart space. And it really was not fabulous. And she was an amazing person and she was an excellent employee. And I just knew in that moment, it was a defining moment for me that I could no longer feed into that type of behavior anymore. And the longer my life goes and the further I walk in this path and this journey of compassion, the more I cannot stand by and not use my voice. So no more jokes that are harmful to others. No more seeing someone hurt someone else. No more hurting myself, meaning taking that thought talk and putting myself down. No more allowing others to hurt me, finding my voice in it all. No more placing anger toward others, because anger is only resistance that I do not need to carry. No more watching abuse and not saying something. I don't know if any of you saw the post I did the other day on my personal page about the dog that was the little Yorkie that was being drugged and jerked around. But I'll share it with you because it was very powerful for me. And it was one of those things I was like, what the fuck did I just do? But I'm driving home and there's what I thought were 3 kids around a Yorkie on this sidewalk. And keep in mind, it's triple digits here now. And we had, I was driving and they were jerking this Yorkie. And then the Yorkie would like flop on the ground and they were dragging it on the concrete. And I'm telling you what, I about lost my fucking mind. So I went around the median. I turned around and I parked. I honestly cannot believe that I parked the way I parked. I'm glad my ass end of my car didn't get hit. But I got out and I went over and I realized it was a mother and 2 kids, 2 teenagers. And they were laughing. And I got out and I said, you need to pick. I said, can you not pick up that dog? Pick up that fucking dog. Pick it up. Watching you do that was horrendous. Pick up the fucking dog. And I got back in my car and I shut the door. And then all these thoughts started going through my head like, oh my God, I can't believe I just did that. You know, we're in a society that, I mean, I know women who carry. She could have shot me. I mean, my God. But I will say this. One of her kids picked up the fucking dog. It was terrible. It was terrible. So there's no more standing by and just letting shit happen. No more. So when I realized within that moment how much harm was being created from not having compassion for others, it forever changed my life. Ooh, Craig, we've got some statements. What do we got? What we pay attention to expands, so pay attention to the experiences we want, not the lack of stuff or the misery. Exactly. And John, thank you for your comment because it's true. It's very true. And it's all about, for me and how I teach and work with the estrogen fast ladies, it's all about resistance, right? And understanding resistance and how that resistance affects the body and listening to that and understanding what is no longer yours to carry, right? And as human beings, we tend to carry other people's shit. And it's not ours to carry. It's not ours to carry. It is not ours to carry. So we will tend to carry their sadness. We'll tend to carry their burdens. We'll tend to carry their job, right? We'll tend to go out of our way to make sure that everyone else is okay. And we will sacrifice our souls for others and not take care of ourselves. And at the end of the day, that does not make for a well human. And so it's wonderful that when we do pay attention, and we are experiential beings, we are here to have a wonderful experience. So it's awesome. So let's take a minute and shout out to our sponsor. This is exciting. Oh, and look, we have some merchandise coming in. It's exciting. All right. So our first sponsor, Miracles of Joy and Spiritual Center. Go check out all the best merchandise online at www.miraclesofjoy.org and put in the promo code AFW to get an additional 10% off online, or go to their store in Louisville and tell them AFW sent you and get 10% off in the store for all the merchandise. So go check it out. They have some wonderful geodes and crystals and incense, and I buy all my things there, and it's absolutely spectacular. So go check them out. And don't forget to tell them AFW sent you. And this is a perfect segue into the next part of this show. A few years ago, my husband and I went on a sacred journey through miracles of joy to Teotihuacan, Mexico. One of our stops was at a basilica, one of the oldest in Mexico. I was recently reminded of this and how much it can show others the truth. And one of our co-attendees was judging the man, this man, by his appearance. He was a homeless man coming our way as we were going into the basilica. And I looked at her, and in her mind, she just recently told me what her thought process was, and I thought it was very beautiful. And in her mind, she was having judgment against this homeless man. He was dirty, and, that's what she saw, was a dirty homeless man. And I said, do you see it? Do you see how much light and happiness he shares with everyone he comes in contact with? Do you see how beautiful that soul is? She told me recently how much that moment forever changed her life and understanding that all beings deserve compassion without judgment. I do not judge our homeless. I will usually actually give them the largest bill in my purse. The largest bill I've ever given to a homeless person was a $50 bill. And I look at things like it's not mine, right? It's not mine. It's not mine, to judge. It's not mine to worry about where they're spending it. It's not mine to care if they buy drugs or alcohol with it. I don't care if they buy shoes with it. I don't care if they eat with it. It's not mine to judge, because where they're at, they're broken. And it's not my place to judge them. Recently, there was a man on the corner up by an interstate, and I was driving with a girlfriend, and I asked her, I said, do you mind giving this to him? And it kind of surprised her a little bit, but she said, no, not at all. And so I had a $20 bill in my purse, and I gave it to him, and we were at a stoplight, and he cried. And, it's one of those things that when we can give more of ourselves to others, it touches people in ways that you will never know. I remember one time I challenged myself to smile at every person in a store that I went to. I was on set for, I think he was one of our second or third guests, Justin Malone, one of his shoots for the bus stop, I believe he had. And I had to go pick up some blood. So I went to like a Party City, and I chose to smile to everyone that I ran into. And I ran into 12 people in the store, and I smiled at every one of them, and only 2 smiled back. And I thought that was very interesting, because I thought, how sad is that we're in a society today that smiling at someone can almost be combative. Some people, if I'd smile at them, they would move their entire cart away from me. Some people would just avert their eyes. Like, it was a very unconscious, subconscious sort of an action for them, I think. But also, how sad was that to see that they could not accept a smile? But like I said, 2 out of the 12 actually smiled. We never know what we're going to give somebody that day. We don't know. So for me, it's about losing the judgment. It's about losing the competition. It's about losing the place that is not ours to carry for others. For me, it is the soul that I see. It is the pain that they have. It is the story they wrote and spiraled into. All people, all beings, all souls deserve compassion. Another big event that I recall that truly gave me a major education in compassion was the Sandy Hook shootings. And I remember very distinctly that day, and it's one of the last times that I watched the news, actually. And I remember the pain in my heart for the children, the teachers, their parents, the shooters' parents, and for the shooter himself. And I truly believe in my heart that every soul deserves compassion. Now, forgiveness is something else. But every soul deserves compassion. We don't have to necessarily forgive them. We don't have to like them. We don't even necessarily have to love them, but every soul deserves compassion. Every being deserves that. We will never know what took that soul to that place and what took him to do the things that he did that day. But I remember very distinctly having the conversation with my family, and it was about 45 minutes upstairs. And we were talking about this, and my husband, he's like, "How can you give that monster compassion? How can you do that? He's a monster." And I said, I get that, but I don't know what took him to that place. I don't know what his soul journey had been through. And for me, I still to this day give compassion to those who even are the most monstrous of monsters, because patterns happen in lives. Patterns repeat in lives. And again, happy people aren't assholes. We will never know, but if one by one we start seeing things with true compassion, one by one we start seeing things with no judgment for all of humanity, isn't that what Jesus would do? Think about it. Did you have any questions tonight? No questions? It's okay. We don't have to have questions. It was a fun show to talk about tonight. I hope you got something out of it. For me, compassion is a big topic. Compassion is something that a lot of people talk about, but don't necessarily take action with. And for me, taking off the judgment shoes and stepping into compassionate shoes was a pretty easy thing to do, because it's a conscious choice to not allow others to suffer. It's a conscious choice not to play into how others suffer. And it's a conscious choice to be able to allow others to shine when they're in their darkest moments. Thanks, John. Appreciate your feedback on here. This is awesome. Craig and I thank you for joining us tonight. Please subscribe or donate to our little show at our Patreon, which you can find in our crawler here, or go to allfuckswelcome.com and you can donate there. Also check out our merchandise as it is up to super exciting. And we're going to have a flash sale this week. What? Super stoked about that. So we cannot wait to share that with you probably Wednesday. So go check that out. Don't forget to go out there this week and give 2 fucks, because we need to give more. Peace.